Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at a Taurus pistol. This is the first Taurus pistol I've had the opportunity to review. I was fortunate enough to be able to make acquaintance with one of the gentlemen there who works for marketing, and he was able to finally get me one out to take a look at. And the pistol we have here was introduced in 2021. It's called the Taurus G3 TORO, or Taurus Optics Ready Option. Now, you see here we have the screws here where we remove this plate and we can add a red dot on here. Unfortunately, at this time I did not have a red dot to put on here, so we tested it as you would any other type of a pistol. Now, looking at it, you're looking at another polymer frame gun, magazine fed. We have a longer 17-shot magazine, which of course for someone like myself it grips pretty good. And then we have a more compact 15-shot magazine, and we're looking at about 24.83 ounces. Now, the most thing that stands out on this pistol is the fire control mechanism on it. This allows you a double strike, where if the round doesn't go off, you can pull again. So this is literally probably what you would call double action only. This is one of the few pistols of its type that allows you to be able to do that, where you do have double strike capability. So we have an overall length of 7.28 inches, polymer frame. So looking at features, we have on the left side, you can see we have a manual safety, which engages, and we have the slide stop, and this disassemble is very similar to that of a Glock. And if you look on the top here, we have a loaded chamber indicator. Again, these things are sort of hard unless you have a lot of good light in there to be able to see inside them. Looking at the frame, you have your mill standard 1913 rail. Now, for as far as your sights, you have a white front sight and you have a solid black rear. For as far as the checkering is concerned, down here the checkering is very comfortable. You do have some swells in here for your finger. As far as safeties are concerned, you do have your tit in the middle of the trigger here, which is the Glock type safety. You do have also a firing pin safety, which we'll show you when we take this thing apart. The barrel we have on here is a 4-inch stainless steel barrel. This barrel was very, very well made. I was very, very pleased with the accuracy and the function of this pistol overall. Now, the magazine release is reversible, so if you were to be left-handed, you'd be able to swap that around. As you can see from the magazines, you have both right and left side catches on them, so that can be changed over. Now, this trigger, when I tested it, it was on 6 pounds with a military trigger weight set. So the trigger was still around that same of like a Glock would be. They're usually around 5.5 pounds. So this was 6 pounds. But again, you do have the double action feature for as far as getting double strikes on it. For disassembly, check, make sure it's empty. Going to pull the latches down like you do a Glock. You have to pull the trigger, and we can pull the slide right off. And we push in on our recoil spring. As we can see, we have dual recoil springs, embedded recoil springs. And we pop the barrel right out. As you can see, we have a Browning linkless system on here. Now we take a look inside the slide. Again, very good machining, especially for Taurus. Taurus has usually been known to have a relatively rough finish, but they definitely improved over the years. But we can see the most important safety right here, which is the firing pin safety, which means that this pistol will not fire unless the trigger is pulled all the way to the rear. It's a big necessity for any pistol that you're going to carry for self-defense loaded. You can see you have your striker on here. Looking at your frame, you have, so you can see here, you can see your ejector. But basic, very simple striker fire pistol. You can see our safety. But overall, very, very well made. Of course, our barrel. And then here you can see your witness hole there for the loaded chamber indicator. Reassembly, very simple. Drop your barrel back in place. Large end first. Slide right back in. And there you go. So what we're doing now is we're taking this to the range. We're going to see how it shoots. Overall, I shot very well with this pistol, even with the double action trigger. It took a little bit to get used to because of what you're used to with these striker fired pistols is you're used to a much shorter pull without the double action. Of course, I didn't have any issues with ammunition where I required a double strike, which with most modern good ammunition, you don't usually have that problem. So, but this is a unique aspect of this pistol that it does have it. Again, you did have optics ready on here. We had a lot of fun shooting at our challenge targets. Any of you guys interested in shooting at steel and making your shooting a lot more fun, take a look at the challenge targets page and use our code SAS, and you can get 10% off of any target they have on their webpage. Now, for as far as the ammunition that we had used on this, it was primarily the Oscar Son ammunition. I want to thank our friends over at Copper Custom for providing that ammunition to us. As you guys know, we've had a really hard time getting ammunition over the last couple of years. I was really low on 9mm, and Tim and the guys over at Copper Custom were gracious enough to let me borrow or let me have some of their Oscar Son, which ammunition, which is made in Turkey. It's a steel cartridge case with a brass coating on it. This is a 124 grain full metal jacket. And so far, I probably shot about 1,500 to 2,000 rounds of it. And this ammunition has been awesome. They bring it in by the pallet load. So if you guys are needing any 9mm ammunition, give Copper a try. They probably have some of that in stock at a very reasonable price. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. Thank you.